I feel that we have all been so specially blessed by the association, the blessings, and the divine example of Sri Yamuna Devi in our lives here at Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple. I first came in contact with Yamuna Devi in Bombay. I had traveled across continents, meaning holy people, the Jewish faith, Christian faith, Islamic faith. I traveled as a sadhu in the Himalayas. I was meeting some of the most renounced, austere, mystically empowered yogis, lamas, ascetics, and somehow or other I came to Mumbai. And there I learned about this Cross Maidan festival. I had never seen Srila Prabhupada before. I just found the Krishna book and was sitting on the ground reading it. I never really had any contact with any devotees except for some passing in Amsterdam, but I couldn't understand. But the first devotee that deeply impacted my heart was a lady dressed in a very simple sari who was sitting on the stage. And during the daytime, there wasn't that many people there. At night, 20, 30,000 people would come. During the day, it was just kind of empty, people passing through. But this lady, she played the harmonium and was singing. There was no mridanga, there was no kartals. It was just her all alone singing for hours. The depth of her devotion, the intensity of her sincerity, I was so deeply moved. Who are these people? So naturally, when I heard that the Guru was coming that evening, I was very interested in meeting all gurus in those days. But I was especially interested in meeting the Guru of this American young lady who seemed to be deeper realized in yoga than even so many of the ascetics who were 80 years old that I was living with. She was probably only in her late 20s at the time, but she was ageless the way she was singing. Such gravity, such devotion. In many ways, that experience of sitting, reading, and listening to her for hours that day very much opened my heart with a special eagerness to meet Srila Prabhupada, which I did that evening. And you know the story, I was sitting way in the back, and little did I know till later, but it was Yamuna Devi's husband at the time that came and took me by the hand and said, Prabhupada wants you to sit with him, and brought me to the stage. Later on, of course, I lived in Vrindavan, and that is where I accepted the path of bhakti as my life and soul. I accepted Radha Krishna as the ultimate worshipable lords of my life, and I accepted in my heart of hearts Srila Prabhupada as my spiritual master, who I wanted to dedicate my body, mind, life, and words, everything, to assisting. But I had to leave Vrindavan because of my visa. While I was there, I never saw any ISKCON devotees except when Prabhupada came. There was about 40 with him. Then for many months I never saw another. There was no Krishna Balaram temple at the time. And I went to Nepal for some time and got a transit visa back into India 2 weeks, where I was to catch a plane from Delhi to the west. And naturally, I went back to Vrindavan. And at that time, Yamuna Devi and Gurudas were living at the Radha Damodar temple. Srila Prabhupada personally sent them there to establish the Krishna Consciousness movement in Vrindavan. Think of how dear and important they were to him. Vrindavan is Srila Prabhupada's eternal home. Radha Damodar temple, the place of Rupa Goswami, Jiva Gosvämé, is where he lived for so many years and translated and wrote purports for Srimad Bhägavatam, prayed. He sent these two very, very special devotees with this mission to establish the Krishna Consciousness movement of his in Vrindavan. So I heard about this. And it was just them and one other brahmacari, who I happened to know because he was living in a Gaudiya mat with me when I was before. Very young boy. They were in a little room, very simple, on a first story. And they were just talking between each other, Yamuna Devi and Gurudas. I was there for hours. They had such sincere desire. All they talked about was what Srila Prabhupada wanted. The only words that came out of their mouth was, Srila Prabhupada wanted this. How do you think this would please Srila Prabhupada? I didn't hear another thing for hours. Every subject they discussed, it was connected exclusively to their seva for their guru. And I will never forget this. It had such an impact in my life. The conception of this yasya, prasädäd, bhagavat-prasädo, of pleasing and dedicating everything to the service of Guru. In my life, I had never experienced it like from them. And I was thinking, this is what it means to be a disciple. To follow in the footsteps of someone like Yamuna Devi. And that was a very great blessing in my life, because I understood that I had to strive for that standard, 24 hours a day, what will please my Guru. A standard that I felt I may never reach, but at least I could strive to follow in her footsteps.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.